nation, under God, indivisible.
We've been trying to do this on Zoom, and it's been a nightmare trying. Yeah. So, all of you in your package got a copy. I'm going to put this on. I got a copy of the minutes from the meeting on November 8th. Do I have any comments before we make a motion? Can I have a motion to approve? Second? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Do we have any public comments? Just the family. Chief's report.
Okay, good evening, everybody. It's nice to have everybody back in person and spread out a little bit in masks, but we'll continue on. Got a lot to go over, but first I want to get to several promotions and a couple other items first as well too. So first I'll have Mr. Johnson, if you want to come up. Just a second, sweetie.
He's not talking to you, Jeff.
Sure. So, go ahead, come on over. I want to make sure the camera sees as much as possible. So first promotion I'd like to recognize tonight is Mr. Jeff Johnson. He'll be promoted to the rank of engineer from firefighter. So kind of the first journey in that process through St. John's is to come as a firefighter and then kind of own that apparatus and own that rig, which Jeff will do. So we recently established an engineers list, and Jeff was at the top of our list. So it's a pleasure to have Jeff be promoted tonight, and I think his first shift may have already happened, right? As engineer. So yesterday. So thank you, Jeff, for your hard work, and I'd like to get you your engineer badge here, and I can do that one for you. It's harder doing it to someone else, you know? Thank you. Okay. Next one I want to recognize, Sam didn't make it, but is Chief Frizzell. Chief Frizzell, can you come with your family? Okay. Sure, I just want to make sure everybody was inclusive of it. So recently, with different things going on, we had some battalion chiefs openings. So Chief Frizzell, due to some of our other promotions, was the next on our battalion chief list. And obviously, the battalion chief plays a vital role. They really run the day-to-day of all 7 stations and all of the personnel here at St. John's. So battalion chief, I think, is probably our most important piece of the puzzle here at St. John's. Is really, when you look at leadership, is really an important role for St. John's. So congratulations to Chief Frizzell, who moved ships for battalion chief, is now the battalion chief on B ship. So if you want to, pretty good. Be careful. I should have asked.
You want me to take a picture with your phone?
Yeah. Okay, so the next 2 here, also very important roles for St. John's and important roles in the command staff of St. John's as well too. So recently we were able to identify candidates for an assistant chief of administration, and then we created the operations chief, which has been an important role also in the day-to-day, and assisting the battalion chiefs and working on policy and promotions and things like that. So first, I'd like to recognize Mr. Kevin Henson. So Kevin came to us from Greenville Fire, and I think you recently met him on a meeting. Unfortunately, his family couldn't make it tonight, but we'll make sure we get his family in at another time to recognize his promotion. So even though he comes from Greenville, he's adapting well to the low country thing. We're excited about what Kevin brings to St. John's. So, sir.
What's prom night all over?
Then, like I said, we created the position. Thank you to the district for that, for the other assistant chief role, and working exclusively with Chief Staley, the battalion chiefs, and Chris Whaley, who was recently battalion chief and promoted to that position. Chris is already, like I said, working on several different projects for the district, and we're happy that Chris is with us as well too. So, thank you, Chris. I know we'll get your family because Chris has got about 7 girls. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, next, I'd also like, outside of a promotion, we do have a battalion chief that is retiring here in the next week with us. Chief Pate, if you want to come up here. Chief Pate's been with the district for about 22 years. What the hell is that? That's what I look like, right? So, Chief Pate went all the way through the ranks. He's done a wonderful job for us as a battalion chief. He has the respect of his crews, commands the fire scene well, and we're happy for his dedication. We're sad to see him go. He's done a good job of mentoring other people that are ready to be battalion chiefs as well too. So we want to thank you, Chief Pate, for your service to the district, and hope you enjoy retirement a little bit. So for that, we do have this for you. I got to be careful with the glass, I should slide out a little bit here. We do have a retirement gift for Chief Pate here. Sorry, I'll on there, but be careful, those are going to slide a little bit. So just recognizing your dedication to the service and your dedication particularly to St. John's. So thank you. Thanks a lot. If you'd like a photo with your family, or if you want to, go ahead. Come on. I'll give you the box. If anybody wants to, the 21st is Chief Pate's last shift. The morning of the 22nd, we're going to have a breakfast for Chief Pate here at headquarters. So if anybody wants to stop by for breakfast, I don't know, I can't tell you who's cooking it yet. So we'll find it.
As long as it's not Jackie, we're okay. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Well, we have another badge here. We had recently had some changes in the district where, as y'all know, Chief Walsh retired in October 8th and moved back to Pittsburgh. She will be missed, but she recommended Ryan. I think that's a great choice for the next chief to take this department into the future. He definitely has the support of the personnel and also the commission. I feel that he's going to do a great job. I have seen him, his leadership style so far. He's doing a great job. I think the future will hold a lot more for the district with his leadership and stuff in the future. Again, congratulations to Chief Brian Kunster as Fire Chief of St. John. He never got the opportunity to get pinned. He's getting it tonight.
Feel like the Marines where they found them.
This is lovely wife, Mary.
Yeah, sorry, this is my wife, Mary. My daughter. I don't want to go home. Okay. So lots of other topics. I appreciate everybody being here as well too, and that, like I said, lots of promotion, lots of people, lots of good things happening at St. John, lots of good people in those positions. And again, thank you, Chief Pate, for your dedication. Okay, a couple other things happening in the district. Holiday meals. So in lieu of the Christmas party this year, we had holiday meals that were delivered to each station. So that happened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The meals provided by Outback. I want to specifically thank Chiefs Flanagan and Chiefs Anderson, who assisted the battalion chiefs even over the weekend on assisting on those meals, so they would still be warm for the firefighters as well. So we are processing the $50 tuition bonus for Christmas. So thank you on that. That will be going 12 to 17 ships. On the marine side, we have ordered both of our boats, the large boat and the smaller center console boat. Those are both been ordered, and we're looking at delivery on those towards the end of 2023. On that, we have the bond sale and some bond things coming up Wednesday. Main road property, I'll defer to Bill on that, but that is moving along too. Also, generator at Station 5. I know last month I talked about an issue. Station 5, we've got that procured. We're able to put that under the bond sale as well too, as a capital improvement. So that was a savings there as well. We're supposed to get started on that work soon. Here at headquarters and also all of our stations, we've budgeted this year to replace all of our computers and workstations. So that with our IT company, that work is ongoing as well too. We're still working with Charleston County EMS on Station 6. We recently agreed upon an MOU between us and the county on kind of shared building services and things like that. So next phase is we just have to get some electrical work done so we can accommodate them. So we expect that to finish hopefully soon to get that rolling as well too. So vaccine mandate, I will say that we have 99% of staff in compliance with the vaccine mandate. And I can discuss that a little bit more in my executive session as well. So other things going on right now, Stuff a Truck, that's usually led by Captain Manti, still is doing well. We've got a whole training building on Maybank Highway that's full of toys. So and thankfully too, we've also had some cash donations. We had a couple from our area that donated $1,000 the other day to use for our discretion. So some of that we put towards the Stuff a Truck program, and then also made another $500 donation. So can't thank the community enough for their outpouring of support for that program as well too. So we do have an open deputy fire marshal, and we completed interviews for that on Friday, and we'll be selected for that position this week. Other than that, Chief Henson, if you just want to go over the monthly stats.
Certainly. So another busy month in November for the district. A total of 284 incidents in November. Breaking it down, that was 172 on Johns Island, 50 on Kiowa, 37 on Seabrook, and 25 on Baltimore. Again, that was 284 total for November, trending right along with last year.
I apologize, I owe you, Chief Wilhoit was out sick today, so he had the numbers and wasn't able to get them today, so I owe you a couple months of prevention. We'll get them to you on that. So for the Chief's report, unless you guys have any other questions.
Ramona. You're unmuted. There you go. Financial report.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Okay, for November's financial report, our operating budget remaining goal is at 58.33%. We're actually at 59.35%. So we're trending as expected. We're close, but we're still meeting our target. Bank balances for operating is roughly $4 million. I'll make a note. We still haven't had to draw down on a TAN, so that's good. You can use that expenditure for the TAN expense in another area. Our LGIPS bank balance is roughly $11,000. Moving on to revenue. For November's collections, it included a payment from FEMA related to Hurricane Dorian in the amount of $4,664. We also got the Berkeley Electric capital check that we usually get annually for roughly $4,100. And then various small donations and reimbursements, some of which Ryan's mentioned. We received a wire transfer from Charleston County in the amount of $797,000, and that's for our October property tax collections. For expenses, the non-standard overtime for November is roughly $33,000, which is a decrease from October. The Go Bond bank balances as of the end of November 2018 balance is $46,000. We're going to use half of that, as Ryan mentioned, for the installation of the generator. So we're trying to get all of that money spent. And then the 2021 balance is roughly $982,000. Moving on to the dashboard. As mentioned, the monthly property tax collections for October, it increased by $230,000 from last October, which is what we want to see. Year to date, we have roughly $1 million in property tax collections. Typically, December through February is where we see our real revenue. So I'll be watching that closely. Year-to-date operating expenditures as of the end of November is at $6.8 million, including outstanding encumbrances. The year-to-date non-standard overtime is $192,000. Year-to-date salaries, including regular and standard OT, is at $2.4 million. Our vacation and sick pay is at $288,000. And the staff efficiency for November is 83%. Our COVID-related expenses for November was only $658, which is great. And then we are down 1 officer, 1 engineer, and 3 firefighters as of the end of November. Nothing to report for recruiting. Ryan mentioned the open position. And nothing to report for workers' comp. Any questions for the November report?
Ramona, I don't have any questions for November, but you and I had discussed the mid-year.
Yes.
Are you anticipating like mid-January that we'll be able to meet, the finance committee will meet over that line by line?
Yes, I was just going to mention that after questions. So we received an email last week from Charleston County. Our mid-year budget is due January 28th. So Deborah, whenever you schedule the finance meeting in January, I'll have it complete. I've already started working on it.
Okay, thank you.
And then the one other point, the fiscal year 23 budget is going to be due March 15th. And so we can discuss at the finance committee meeting how to work backwards to make sure that we have first draft for finance committee and then final for the commission prior to the March 15th date.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize, not part of the financial report, but she's report. We did have 3 recruits that graduated. I'm afraid of this. We have 3 recruits that graduated from recruit class last Friday. 2 Fridays ago. 2 of them are already in operations and 1 is currently part of that and both will be in operations.
Donald, attorney update?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
And are you warm?
Yeah, yeah, it's a little frustrating. It's the same part that broke that we just replaced about 3 weeks ago. So it's one of those days. But anyway, two things. Number one, on the dispute with St. John's Water about the hydrants, we are still working on finding a mediator we're happy with. We got sort of a short list. Our top pick was not available, and we're working on that. Been in contact with their attorney, and we'll get that set up probably sometime. My bet is probably early February, something like that. So we have plenty of time to sort of gear up for that. Then on the vaccine mandate suit, the plaintiffs had made a motion to basically withdraw the suit. There are two ways that a suit can get withdrawn. One is with prejudice, which means you can't bring it back up somewhere else. One is without. So there's a hearing that's been set in January let me check my notes, January the 20th, to see whether they can withdraw the case without dismissing it forever and for always. And so that will be after the next monthly meeting. And I'll give you more, if there are any more details to know, I'll catch you up next meeting. It'll probably just be a phone conference type hearing, and the judge will rule. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Donald.
Thanks.
I'm going to jump ahead here a second. For the executive session, do you have the conference call information, or do I need to text that to you?
I'm sorry, I can hear a radio, but I can't hear you.
Okay, for the executive session, do you have the conference call information for executive session, or do I need to text that to you?
If you would text that, that'd be great. Thanks.
All right. Any old business to discuss? Okay, under new business, it's election time, and Donald normally coordinates the elections. Donald, I know you and I talked about us all texting you information, but we were also talking about, should we give our written ballots to the chief and you and he coordinate? How should this be handled?
Well, let's see. First of all, some reason y'all aren't coming. I've got Ramona. I can't see you guys. That's okay. I think we have two people remote. Is that right? Mary Jones and Frank Broccolo.
Yes.
So we could, if you want to do it this way, if it's okay with you guys, you could just write on a piece of paper, let the chief call me with those, and then the other two could text me their votes, and I could tally it that way.
Okay, that's how we'll approach it. And Frank, I know you're muted, but Frank, did you get my text message with Donald's cell phone information?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Thank you.
So, I've been in the chair position for 2 years, and thank goodness we finally got to meet in person, because it's been a terrible 2 years with COVID. But I was looking forward to how busy it's going to continue to be. We've had a lot going on the last 2 years. We had Station 6 built, and unfortunately, we've had some issues, so we still have some repairs that have to be completed at Station 6. We had a much better experience with Station 4, also in Kiowa. Contractor was a higher quality, and we're pretty much wrapping that up, and Kiowa's getting ready to give us a refund, so that tells me that they're happy also with the construction, so that's going well. What we have coming up is on Friday, December 17th, we're going to be receiving bids for design and build of a new maintenance building here on Main Road, and new property that we bought across from Makershed. And, excuse me, so we're going to meet here at 10:30 to start going over those bids, putting together a summary. Not all the commissioners can make it. We obviously would not vote on this until our January commission meeting. So what we'll do is, there are quite a number of commissioners that are able to make it on Friday, in addition to district representation. David Myers, our consultant. We're going to try and narrow it down to the three best bids. We luckily don't have to go with the lowest bid, but we need to look at the best bid that's going to be for the district. And my understanding from David Myers is, and we got 6 of the companies that already confirmed they're going to submit bids, but he thinks that we're going to get even more. And he said there's some really high quality construction companies there, and I'll let Bill elaborate on that. But we'll at least have an idea of the top 3 that we're going to recommend in the January commission and then go forward. It's probably going to be an 18-month project, but at least we can kick it off early next year. Another thing that's happening is Kiowa River, the county had Kiowa River agree to donate 3 acres within Kiowa River for us to build a fire station in the new development, Kiowa River. And we're supposed to kick that off when there's 200 certificate of occupancy. Well, now they're kicking off building a hotel and a bunch of cottages in addition to all the houses that they've built already and houses that are under construction. So we'll be meeting with the county next year and starting to kick off that discussion because 3 acres is not just for St. John's Fire District, but it's for Charleston County EMS, police, possibly magistrates. So in our strategic, we have our strategic plan out to 2025, but we may have to make some adjustments. Construction might come along faster than we anticipated. So that's something that we're going to be looking at. Donald had mentioned some legal issues that we need to work on in the future. We have a bond issue that's going to be, the sale is Wednesday, December 15th is Wednesday. Commissioner Blake and I will be signing all the documents on Friday the 17th for that final sale, and will actually be issued on January 6th. So we'll have that money coming in, and that's around $7.5 million, and that's to fund some fire engines and for the maintenance building. The other thing we have going on is Seafields is a new senior community that you're probably all aware of. And they've already broken ground. I mean, they've cleared the lot, so they're clipping right along. We got the turn lane, the construction vehicles can finally get in there because Freshfields wasn't going to drive through Freshfields. So that's going to be happening. And then NUSC had a meeting with some of the Seabrook representatives, and they're still working on permitting and funding, but they're still moving forward, and they have gotten some donations from the community. So that's going to be another adventure. So obviously, St. John's Fire District, we need to keep track of what's going on in the community and what's going on at NUSC because we obviously need to provide services. They may have their own ambulance service. We don't know yet. We'll keep in close track on that to find out. But, so that's how I look out in the next 1 and 2 years of all the adventures that are going on. So I know we don't normally do this, but I want to nominate Bill Tremaine as considered for the chair for the next year for St. John's Fire District. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about his background and why I went over what's happening and why I think that he would be a good candidate for chair. He had 20 years from 1963 to 1983 in the Army National Guard that he was a medic and a medic instructor. He served 30 years from 1975 to 2005 as a volunteer EMT and firefighter, and he was the EMS chief for 14 years. He has 45 years experience as a mechanical engineer with a heavy background in commercial and industrial construction. So he's been our building committee lead, and he's been doing an excellent job dealing with our construction. He's registered professional engineer in 4 states. He serves on the town of Kiowa Island Public Safety Committee for 9 years. Served on the town of Kiowa Island Community Emergency Response Team, what we call CERT, for 9 years. And he's been a fire chief on St. John's Fire District for 5 years. So, St. John's Fire District Commissioner. Oh, I promoted you. Fire Commissioner for 5 years. Sorry. So, that's my nomination. Are there any other nominations?
Nominate you and Blake.
Any other nominations? Okay, so what we're going to do is Mary and Frank. Did you hear the nominations?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I heard some of it did.
Okay, so the two of you want to text Donald with who you're electing, and the rest of us are going to write on a piece of paper and give it to Ryan, and then Ryan's going to call Donald, and they're going to coordinate and come back, and we're going to wait for the chief election to be announced before we nominate a vice chair. commission.
And you call it chief. Chief,
I
stuff like that.
got the chief thing on it. Okay, vice chair of the commission. Jeez.
Yeah, so do we have some extra pieces of paper we can offer?
I can,
Or we can dig up on and
yeah.
split them up, and then I'll call you just a minute, Donald.
Do you want Amanda to maybe cut some pieces into seven?
Or just if you want to rip it. It's pretty, oh, that works too. That's what we'll-
Oh, okay, thank you.
Let's do that. Those out, and then I will pick out one. That's not now. Maybe the borrow Chief Stanley's hat.
Is that the Pittsburgh hat?
Oh, no, I got that.
He's too embarrassed about that. Blake? I'll be right back.
So, while they're tallying that, Chief Koenigsegger and I have had conversations on this daily, on all of our different adventures. And one thing we were talking about when the strategic committee meets again is not only moving up Kiowa River possibly from 2024 funding to 2023 funding. We may have to do that because of how quickly they're building there. But also, we had set aside $500,000 for breathing apparatus replacement in 2025, but they have been getting estimates, and the estimates are coming in more at $1 million. So what I anticipate may happen is, our next bond issue is going to be January 6th, is when the bonds are actually issued. As I mentioned before, that's $7.5 million. But when you look at your strategic plan and when we meet, when you look at 2023 and 2024, we're probably going to combine those 2 years, and that'll be a total of $8,550,000 in bonds that will probably be, requesting. Things can change in a year, so we'll probably talk about this next fall like we did this year. But those are some of the changes I see in the strategic plan that I want to share with all of you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so a little wrinkle here. We have a tie vote 4-4 with one abstention. So that's why Chief Kunitzer and I were talking a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think there's any specific guideline for what we do at this point. We could do one of two things. We could vote again, or we could postpone the vote and have it again in January under the theory that either one of two things is going to happen. Somebody has a little bit more time to consider, which is fine. Or isn't somebody else coming on the commission? Are we getting a new person? But we don't really know when that's going to happen either, do we?
Donald,
Yeah,
you had 9 votes.
yeah.
You only should have had 8.
No,
The chair is not allowed to vote.
That's not a bylaw.
That's in the law. Chair breaks the tie.
Yeah, I thought the chair breaks the tie.
Yeah, if there's a tie.
Oh.
So
you might be right. I thought, yeah, I didn't know if we did that for elections or not. You might be right, Bob. I'm sorry about that.
Yep. No, I went through it.
What section is that?
Central elections. Article 6. Commission will vote by ballot for the office of chair, vice chair. The chair vote will not be counted except as breaking the tie. So there should have only been 8 votes.
Whoops, I just lost you. Nope. Okay. Yeah, hang on. I just lost the visuals. There you go. All right, well, if that's the case, then the vote would be, obviously Deb voted for her who she nominated. So then the vote would be 4-3. And that would make Leroy Blake the Chief Commissioner.
Is that the way we should do it, or should we just re-vote? You're
But-
assuming that chair voted for Bill.
I'm at your pleasure. We could revote if you like.
Yeah, I like to re-vote.
Okay, do that in case, and if the abstainer wants to change, they would be allowed to do that, okay? In case there was any,
Didn't you just look at who you voted for? No.
We don't know who voted. We don't decide for who.
Person abstained, that's a two.
Yeah, the person abstained
I'm
can
with
change their mind.
So I'm with, all right.
But I don't know who voted for who.
All right, Leroy, do you have any more posted notes?
All right. Just remind Mary and Frank to vote again.
Yeah, Mary and Frank, can you retext your vote to Donald, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Donald, 1 second.
I was trying to read this.
Yeah, you keep the ballots because I usually put them in my book somewhere and tape them in there. Okay? All right, thanks. Okay, can you hear me? Is everybody there now? Well, let's let Ryan get back in so he can. Okay, so, all right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Feel like the Verizon guy. Yeah, so the new chair will be Leroy Blake with 5 votes, 2 votes for Bill, 1 abstention, and then the chair. So,
Well, the chair didn't vote.
right. I'm just saying that's 1 abstention, 2 for Tomei, and 5 for Blake.
Whoever abstained before voted this time.
Yeah, and the abstain remain abstained.
5, 2, 1 abstention. That's no, and then you were.
That's the 9.
So there was five votes. 5 votes for Leroy, 2 votes for Bill. There's still 1 abstention. And then there's also the chair.
Alrighty. Okay, so do I have a nomination for vice chair?
Bill Tomei.
I decline that nomination.
I nominate Aaron Quigley.
Well, I think we need to talk about this in executive session, because normally we don't have 2 commissioners from the same island. I'll explain it.
When we break,
Excuse me?
when we get to executive session, discuss information.
All right. Okay, I make a motion to break for executive session now.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Donald, I sent you the dial-in information for the executive committee, and I also
Okay.
sent it to Mary and Frank. Do you guys both have it?
I've got it.
Okay, Mary, do you have it?
Not yet. I'm checking.
It wasn't an email. It was in the email with the Zoom meeting information. Frank, do you have it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mary, do you want me to text it to you?
If you would, please.
Okay.
You can do it up in the top left corner of the Zoom screen, John.
Oh, okay.